Guys, I just finished Ariel the Bad Guy over on ESPN Plus. And one of the questions that came up had to do with 170 pounds. Okay, you don't need any more details. I just want you to know we're talking 170 pounds. The question goes to Ariel first, and then I respond on the back. Ariel lost his mind. Ariel cut a promo. He was yelling at all 170 pounders. He put every single one of them on blast as a whole, not one by one, the whole division, for not wanting to compete, for not stepping up and going up there and wanting to compete. Nobody got left out except for Usman. Masvidal took a bump, which in all fairness, where the hell has Masvidal been? Now we're hearing that Masvidal is going to fight Usman, but okay, everything goes great. It's a world title fight and pays a whole bunch of money. Right? I mean, that doesn't necessarily count. In all fairness, and when Ariel did, I didn't realize it until Ariel said it. I'm sitting back listening to him going, every word he just said is right. And that's usually the kind of thing that would really piss me off. Somehow, these 170 pounders almost went under my radar. Maybe because we had a 170 pound fight, title fight to look forward to, and that kind of stole the part of my brain that would be focused on the division. But Ariel's right. Where is Ponzinibbio? What is going on? We're hearing rumors about Colby and Leon. And Leon is very anxious right now. I want to fight. Get me somebody to fight. It can be anybody to fight. I'm kind of looking going, but Leon, where have you been for the last year? In all fairness, where have you been for the last year? Any urgency that Leon is having right now towards fighting is an urgency that he created by not fighting. And then you got these guys that have been, they feel that they're left out. None of you were left out. When Chimaev was active, you were all offered Chimaev and didn't want to do it. I hadn't realized it until Ariel brought it to my attention. And there is one of these questions that you're going to be asked. And I will just tell you guys, from my own level of experience, whether I'm seeing teammates and overhearing them in the gym, or my matchmaking through Submission Underground, I will just tell you that I do have an experience with one question constantly coming up, which is, what do I get? Now, that right there, you and I are now off on the wrong foot. You have a contract. You begged for that contract. You likely, in fairness, earned it. Likely through the lower ranks and hard work and dedication and sacrifice, and you earned it. But it's still an honor to have, and it still fills a spot that now takes from somebody else. Somebody else with the same dreams, doing the same hard work, sacrifice, sleeping on couches, eating what food they can eat when somebody offers them something just to get training and to try to reach a dream, doesn't get it. Now that's the life. That's the business. It's very cutthroat. It's very competitive. I understand those things, but it is reasonable to make sure, if you're going to talk a little deeper of the philosophical and psychological side of it, that you understand what it means to have that spot and what you did to get it. And then when you got it, something changed. And you're talking about, what do I get? What do you mean, what do I get? You have a contract. They will actually ask the promoter, athletes will actually ask a promoter, what do I get? What do I read your goddamn I don't know. I got 556 of these things that I've signed. You've signed one. I expect you to know what is in the contract. And that's when you then get the real answer. No. I'm talking about things outside of the contract. I'm talking about promises and assurances made to me. You needed a promise and an insurance for you to do what you signed and promised me that you would do the day that we did this deal? I mean, you see where we're off on the wrong foot, but we're still living in this time. It's few and far between that don't share that mentality. And Ariel's right to put that focus directly at 170 pounds right now. I don't know what's going on. I've seen this hundreds of times. I have never, but they're one-offs. Hey, remember that time in 2002 win, and then you fill in the blank? Hey, remember that time and that card over there in December of 2007? They're one-offs. This is a broad stroke for the division. This is a cultural issue at this point. This is something that if you show up to work, you have to be prepared to deal with on the other end of the phone. What do I get? So, okay, we've established it. You were raised the wrong way. You were cut from the wrong cloth. You worry about yourself instead of responsibilities on all of the others that get affected. You're a narcissist. But fine, here we are. Apparently, that is what the culture is now. So now we have to deal with it. So let me answer the question now so that it never gets asked again. So it is never asked again by anybody, what do I get? You're going to get two things, okay? Everything that's in your contract, which is going to come with a financial benefit, in all fairness. The contract is based around your love and desire for competition, which apparently is something you've forgotten that you don't. I don't even know why we're here if it's not about competition. If it is about money, I'm out. I'm out as a fan. I don't want to see two guys fight anywhere that don't want to fight. I don't want to see that on the playground. I don't want to see that in the ring. I don't want to see it in the octagon. I don't want to see it anywhere. If both guys aren't willfully here, I'm out. And I'm not a prude. But I do not want to see that. And I have seen that before. Where one person didn't want to be there. It was called being bullied. It disgusted me. It disgusted me then, and it would now too. So if this is about the money only, I'm out personally. Set that aside. You get to compete, and you get a financial benefit of what's in your contract. Secondly, and a big second, okay, a big gap is you now have a platform. That is what you get. You now have a platform. I watched Daniel Cormier fight a barista who had never been in the organization before, use the platform and get himself a world title fight. I watched that happen. I remember when that happened. And I know that a lot of people would have gone into that fight. They're called uncreative people. Managers, trainers, and athlete alike, all in the back, all ho-hum. What am I going to do? I'm fighting a guy, but he's ranked lower than me. I guess I don't get to do anything. What are you talking about? You will do whatever you do with it. What would one have to do with stopping you from getting your objective? Why would anything stop you from getting it what you set out to get? And now you have a microphone in front of the world on ESPN to help you get it. I watched a guy get a date with Miley Cyrus. I watched him do that on Saturday. I don't think anybody would have thought this is the way to do that, in all fairness, but he saw something else, and he had a platform, and he took his shot. I think he's got the date. I think he has to shave something in his chest, and off they go out to dinner. I mean, in all fairness, if you can pull that, what can you not pull off? I watched Usman call out a guy who he's already beat. What champion gets to call out a guy that he's already beat 5 rounds to none and go get a big fat paycheck? I'll tell you what champion, the one holding the microphone. That's the one. That's what you get. Nobody knows what they're ranked. So if you don't want to fight a guy because it affects your ranking, oh, by the way, if he's in front of you and you think you do want to fight him, you're on the other side, I do want to fight because then I'm going to get the ranking. None of us are going to know. None of us know. None of us know that Daniel Cormier fought a barista who had never been in the organization. None of that is an insult to Pat Cummings, by the way. None of it. I am painting Pat in that light to let you know that this wasn't going to be some kind of a bounce by Daniel. There was one opportunity for Daniel that night, and that was to look bad. There was another opportunity where he grabs a microphone, and anything done prior to that never happened. You want to know an opportunity, guys? You want to see a great opportunity? Go to a card that you don't have to fight on, but be guaranteed an interview opportunity. Now you figured everything out. Now I will be coming to you for advice. How'd you do that? That's what you get. You get whatever's in your contract. We hope that that comes with a love of competition and what it is that you're doing. And sometimes you're not getting, sometimes you're giving, in all fairness. Somebody gave you an opportunity at some point to get you here. And along the way, maybe it's a give night. Maybe you're the one taking the risk like Daniel Cormier did. Maybe it's a night that you give. But above everything, you are now going to have a platform, whether apparently, I guess you can get a date with a gal. I watched a guy get a date with a girl, and I watched another guy get a world title fight. I mean, right? So anything in between. That's what you get. Or you can sit around and be quiet and do nothing and get forgotten about. Never in a million years would have we known that Kamaru Usman and George Masvidal not only are going to fight again, they're going to fight after they do the Ultimate Fighter. That all happened. It all happened because of Usman. It all happened because of Usman. You all want to talk about, I'm only going to fight a guy ranked in front of you. None of you are ranked in front of goddamn Usman. None of you. And none of you will be. He's the champ. What if Usman would have done that? I'm not going to fight him. I'm going to go sit around and, spend some time with the family, and I'm going to see what they say. I think I'm not going to fight for a while. So he's going to hold up a whole division. All right, scumbag move. And by the way, he'd have the right. He'd have the right after what he just did. But he didn't do that. Usman, if he was to follow your guys' twisted, backwards, anti-competitive, weak mentality, I'm only going to fight people in front of me, guess what Usman's going to fight? No one. So if it's good enough for Kamaru Usman, it's good enough for you. Kamaru Usman called out somebody worse. Called out somebody lower ranked. Called out somebody that if he beats, he gets nothing. Nothing in terms of a ranking, in terms of public opinion. He doesn't get a goddamn thing, and he never will because he's the champion. Do you see the difference in Kamaru Usman's mindset and the rest of yours? Here's what you get. You get to honor a contract that you begged for, and you get a platform. If that's not good enough for you, get out of the business. Quit holding up the spot. That's simple. Compete if you want to. If you don't, speak now. So somebody else has the chance. Living in an era right now of calling out rankings. Guys, no one knows what anyone's ranked. Who, what, when, why, and where. That's how you tell stories. Call a name. A name. Call a name. Don't do it again. And don't call for a ranking. So, call a name. All right. If you don't care who you fight, there's no way that I can care who you fight. And when I say I don't just mean Chael. I mean the fan. Stop. Now, you want to be 5? And we don't care at all. Call a name. Who, what, when, why, and where. Softball right down the middle. Call a name. 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 Don't do it again. And don't call for a ranking. Call a name. Nobody knows who's ranked number 5 in the world. Call a name. It's just one of these things. Call a name. Let that be my reality and let that be yours. Call a name. Run it back. Call a name. Call a name. Call a name. Don't do it again. And don't call for a ranking. Call a name. Call a name. Call a name. Call a name. Don't do it again. And don't call for a ranking. Call a name. Share the octagon. Keep your placement on the card. You've done something right. A name. A name. A name. A name. We can now add the Y for you. A name. Call a name.